Primordial Radio.
Primordial Radio, and my guest today is, I would say up and comer, but I think, God damn it, she's up and comed. It is Sophie Lloyd, man.
Hello!
Mate, I'm totally made up for the new album, which is coming out November the 10th. So it's coming out this Friday. Imposter Syndrome, a title that I think a lot of us can relate to. And I have seen some stuff that it's a personal kind of title for you. So first question is, I suppose, the most important one. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm good. It's all, obviously it's all been crazy busy lately, sort of getting everything ready for the album. There's so much that goes into it that I didn't realize behind the scenes, like releasing an album. It's mad. So we've just been busy with that, but everything's so exciting. I'm so excited for people to finally hear this album. And yeah, there's just a lot of really exciting things going on at the moment.
I bet, man. I bet. An album appears and you start doing press like this, talking to schmucks like me, and then you've got music videos and you've got songs, all this. But for those who aren't actually in the biz, how long has this album been building up? How long have you been working on this?
Oh my God, way too long. I think we started in at the beginning of 2019, and then obviously sort of COVID happened and we were working through that. And then just as we were kind of almost ready to release it, that's when I got the call from Machine Gun Kelly. So we had to push it back like another year. And then we had a bit of a reshuffle of some artists. And it was just, it's been going on for a good 4 years now, which is crazy. So, but that's it's a collab album with 11 different artists. So it's always going to be a bit of a cluster,
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is, I was going to come on and ask you about this later on, but you've actually done it. You personally have done it. You've achieved my dream. Same with the likes of Sophie Burrell, same with the likes of Cole Rowland, same with a load of internet guitarists. So, my playing career, kind of from the age of 11, all I wanted to be was a guitarist. All I wanted to do was a guitarist. That's it. That is all that I wanted. However, that dream was always made so much more difficult by other people in the band. When your drummer's in...
Oh my God, yeah.
A good drummer, they are going to be in at least 3 bands. If you've got a really good singer, double that. They're in 5 or 6. They've got so many projects going on here and there.
It's a nightmare trying to organize everyone.
Oh God, just trying to, especially when you start, when you're teenagers, it's difficult enough. But then when you start, people have got jobs and you've got to try and get a rehearsal around shifts and all that.
I know, and kids, it's impossible. It's literally impossible.
So my kind of playing career was on the way out after a little bit of six, nothing major, played a couple of festivals, won a couple of contests, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, awesome.
But by 2007, 2008, my playing career was on the slide. And I've never really got into guitar that much since then. 2007 is when the first iPhone came out and cameras started becoming much more of a thing. So when I see the newer breed of guitarists like you coming through, I feel this completely unwarranted sense of pride going, yes, they're achieving without the other bloody members of the band.
Yeah, I love that. That's the thing. And I grew up in quite a small town where I literally just didn't really know many musicians. There wasn't much of a music scene where I lived. So it wasn't really through lack of wanting to be in a band. It was just a lack of people and resources around me that I was just sort of had to turn to the internet and do it that way. And luckily it means I get to avoid people most of the time. So the introvert to me is very happy.
I've just been looking at your YouTube channel, and it was 11 years ago that you uploaded your cover of Knives and Pens, which as far as I can, exactly right. As far as I can tell, is the first upload that you put on YouTube.
It was, that was my first. I definitely uploaded on Facebook before that, back when that was a thing. And I uploaded some of my a very early original kind of guitar solos and some Green Day stuff I did on Facebook, but that was my first like one I was like, yeah, this is YouTube worthy. It's the worst video ever. It's literally filmed on a potato. Sounds like it's all underwater.
It's fabulous, but it's amazing to see the journey between you then and seeing you now. What do you think that you 11 years ago, who played Black Veil Brides, Knives and Pens, and uploaded it to YouTube, what do you think she'd say if she could see you now?
Oh, I think she'd be so proud. And like, I think that's kind of what this whole album was I wanted to write a whole album for that 15-year-old kid who was like a bit of an outcast, who didn't, you know, really have many friends or anything, but just knew that she loved music. She loved this kind of alternative scene. And, you know, she was just kind of following a dream. And that's sort of what I was writing this album for. And I've managed to have many of the guests that like I was the biggest fan of Hailstorm and Steel Panther, and some of these guests that we've got on the album, like we've actually managed to get. So it's literally been a dream come true. And that's been one of the things that's been really like motivating me for this album, is thinking about that girl back then uploading Knives and Pens.
Oh man. You've come such an incredible long way from there. Like I have read like other interviews with you where you said you had no designs on being a content creator or anything like that.
No, that wasn't really a thing when I was younger. Like it wasn't like people weren't like YouTubers or like, you know, like that. No one was getting paid on YouTube when we first started making it. Like it just wasn't really an option. I just was doing it as more like a kind of video diary for myself. And I remember being like, oh, if 20 people see this video, I'll be so happy. And I was so nervous.
And now if I let's have a look, Sophie Lloyd, 1.01 million subscribers.
Yeah, I reached 1 million this week.
Wow.
Yay.
That's staggering, man. Incredible stuff on there.
Oh, thank you.
It's like bloody well done with it. So what you mentioned there about how that having all the guests on the album it's a dream come true to have like Matt Heafy's on there, for crying out loud.
I know, he's I literally Trivium was there's like this really cute picture of me recording the very first time I ever went into the studio, where I'd like homemade a Trivium t-shirt and like ironed on the logo onto this t-shirt and stuff, and it's just like it felt so full circle.
So did you write any of these songs with guests in mind, or did you already have the guests and you go, right, let's do a song, you can do on, because you know you listen to this track that you've done with Michael Starr and it's like this was meant for Michael Starr.
Yeah, there was definitely like we had people that we wanted to write songs for, definitely, and kind of styles that we wanted to hit to get those certain guests, and a lot of them actually came through. Like, you know, we knew we wanted to write a song for Matt Heafy, and that was the kind of the Fall of Man, more metal kind of Alice in Chains meets Animals as Leaders kind of vibe. And then we knew we wanted to write one for Lzzy that was sort of more of like a power ballad. And yeah, we knew we wanted to write one for Michael. But yeah, we kind of write all the instrumental parts first, and then we sent, because this was all during like COVID and pandemic, so everything was very like online. And then we sent it to them. They sort of recorded the vocals and you know, sort of sent it back to us if we wanted any changes. We'd kind of go back and forth a couple times, and then I'd add like some guitar stuff, maybe edit the structure a little bit and stuff to make it fit and make it flow a bit better. So it was just sort of a game of ping pong with the song, really, over the internet.
I love that. Just the thought of sending a file through to Lzzy Hale and it comes back and like, no, I'd like to make a couple of changes there. You didn't quite get that note.
You didn't quite hit this note, yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm just going to give Matt Heafy notes.
Yeah, the notes were very minimal.
I love that. But throughout that entire thing there, you were using the collective word, the group word "we." So do you write these songs with other parties, or is it all you?
So it's me and then my partner Chris as well, who's my drummer, and he like produces all of my like YouTube stuff and everything. So we've always kind of been a team together. So yeah, this has kind of been our project together, which has been really, really nice.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, he's incredible.
It's in-house.
It is.
You know?
It is in-house. Yeah, we almost fit in our pajamas, you know.
Yeah, you know, so much stuff in life is delayed. Just go, oh, right, well, I had to email this person, then they had to email this person, then we had to get the okay from such and such.
Yeah, we have had that though with like doing 11 people on a collab album. It's definitely been a lot of emails back and forth and managements and labels, a lot of cogs turning.
So who didn't you get? Are you allowed to say, like you said that some of them didn't come out, and so, obviously some collabs just, you can't work out a schedule and things just can't work.
Yeah.
Who did you approach that you couldn't get? There
was some people I would have loved to be on. We wanted Taylor Momsen on it from The Pretty Reckless.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's been amazing. We were thinking of having Jacoby from Papa Roach as well, which would have been really, really cool. But our schedules just didn't really line up. Who else were we thinking? I can't remember now. I think Corey Taylor would have been a really cool one too.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a few, but like overall, I'm so happy with the ones that we got. Like honestly, like Lzzy was like the number one that I wanted because my mum is such a big Hailstorm fan, so that was kind of the one that I knew I wanted when I first thought of doing a collab album. So I'm so happy. We almost didn't get her, but luckily, like because we had to push it back a year because of the MGK stuff, she ended up being free and able to do some collabs. So that one almost didn't happen, but yeah, I'm just so happy with everyone that's on it.
That's actually a good point that you've just accidentally made there. That's a notable name missing from your debut solo album. Sorry, it's not your debut solo album, is it? You did like
I did like an EP. I did like a 5-song EP called Delusions before that was all like instrumental guitar. Yeah. But this is my first like full-length proper album.
But there is that notable name there that's missing, the boss from the other job. Where's MGK?
Yeah, I know. Well, that would be really cool. I think it's like he's doing his own album at the moment. So and also like we did have a pop punk song on this album originally with a different vocalist, but then it sort of didn't really like fit with all of the others. So I think that might be something I look into for like more like kind of singles is working with like kind of some more like really modern artists. I think that would be quite cool in different genres and stuff. I'd definitely be interested in that.
Oh, that could be so cool, man.
Yeah, because I love like MGK's rapping stuff as well, and I feel like the rapping over some like cool guitar riffs could be really, really cool if he's up for it.
Yes, just yes. I'm absolutely here for this.
Yeah.
When you were doing stuff on the album, like particularly the track that you've done with Cole Rowland, did it get competitive between the two of you? Because neither of you is exactly a slouch.
Yes, we're worst enemies now. No, honestly,
could be like, right, I could play this bit, and then you could play this bit, and then I can do it.
Yeah, it's just a guitar battle. You're like, screw you, I'm gonna.
It's like Steve Vai and Ralph Macchio out of the Crossroads.
yeah. Literally, that's what it felt like. It was good though. Cole, like, because me and Cole have worked together a few times before on some other collabs on YouTube. This was the first like original thing we did, but I kind of sent him over this song that I had the kind of backing track for, but I couldn't think of a melody line to it because I always like the instrumentals to have a melody to carry it through, and I was like, I just couldn't think of anything, and I was like, Cole, you can either write something or I think I'm going to scrap this because I just don't know what to do with it. And he sort of wrote that kind of lead melody line, and I was like, oh my god, that's it. And then he wrote kind of his first verse, and then I took his first verse and kind of sophified it for like the second verse, and then we just kind of went back and forth on this shred bit at the end. But he did a lot of the writing on that because like once the backing track was done, because I just couldn't think of anything. So I say he saved that track from, he's the one that I credit to it being in the world right now.
Have you ever had that kind of issue particularly over the last few years, I suppose? So like throughout the whole COVID shenanigans, all that, we've run Primordial Radio from our home studios. We're here right now in my studio 2 here. And I often find myself like, it's a Thursday afternoon or it's a Wednesday morning or whatever, and I've had nothing to say. Especially over the last few years, with all the stresses and strains of COVID, then into the economy being whatever the hell that's been, everything going on in the world, I find myself with a creative block. It's like, I got nothing. Do you ever find yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Oh. Yeah, I definitely get that. And I think, like you say, I think like with the world sort of how it was the past few years, it's been difficult to kind of get out of a slump that a lot of people have been in, especially in the creative industry. It's hard to wake up and be like, I'm going to be creative today and write a song, So I think I have some things that I try and do, like when I'm in a in a block like that, I'll try and give myself like kind of force some inspiration on me. So I'll either put some kind of barriers around what I'm writing. If I want to write a song, I'll be like, right, I'm going to write a song in this time signature in this key, or I'm going to write a song with this weird effect on it, like this harmonizer kind of effect. And that's like kind of is structured creativity, if you know what I mean, that kind of puts me in a box enough that I can start writing something. Or I'll take a song, I'll take like a riff I really like a Metallica riff or something, and I'll like flip it backwards, flip it upside down, do something to it. And that again kind of forces that creativity there, so you can make something even when you're in a slump. And once you've started, it's easier. Like it all starts flowing. It's getting that first thing down, I think. But there are some days where you're just not creative.
Yeah, there's some days where you're just like, I got nothing, and you're just gonna kind of write it off and go out and I don't know, I'll go to the gym or I'll take the dog out for a walk or whatever, and then maybe come back to it.
Exactly. Like you've got to allow yourself some grace in that situation, especially when you're going through like difficult situations like the COVID stuff. Sometimes you've just got to have a day to yourself and, have a nice bath and chill out.
So we've mentioned MGK a little while back. Do you mind if we talk about your gig with MGK for a little while?
Yeah, of course.
So it kind of feels like a step up. You've gone to playing really big venues with Machine Gun Kelly, who's not exactly a shrinking violet when it comes to press and all that. Now that kind of first run is finished with MGK, how do you feel about your experience there and how things went down?
It feels like crazy to look back on, like the sort of, because I was just playing kind of local pubs and stuff before that. And I'm so grateful that they kind of took the chance on a quote unquote internet guitarist, if you know what I mean, to take me on those big stages. And it's just been some of the most incredible experiences, such a learning curve as well, for everything. I just feel so grateful to have been on that. And I'm so excited to kind of do more of it.
Is it true? I was reading, I think, was it Total Guitar or Guitar World or something?
Yeah.
After the whole bullshit. My
first taste of a Hollywood scandal.
Yeah. Is it true that Megan Fox messaged you and went, "Congratulations on your first Hollywood PR disaster"?
Yeah, she did. She did it on Instagram in the comments of my post. Bless her. Fantastic. It was nice of her to do that, to sort of publicly show, like, hey, this is so silly. Like.
How did you feel when that was going down? Because, we've all been in arguments on Twitter or in the comments of posts and all that kind of shit. But you were right in the eye of that particular storm. So how did that affect you?
Yeah, it was really weird because obviously it's like you have hate on the internet and even that's a little bit like sad. But when it's like it feels like the whole world literally is there at your doorstep. Like we had journalists turn up at my parents' home. We had like just some like crazy things and everything. Like my mum and my boyfriend were kind of loving it though, because they were like, oh my God, there's this article that mentions my name. I'm famous now. I'm like, well, good for you. Chris is like, oh my God, I got verified because they wrote me in an article.
I've got a blue check mark.
Yeah, literally. It's so funny.
I know you're going through one of the worst times in your life and many people are writing horrible things on the internet about you, but I've got a blue check mark.
Exactly. So priorities. It was like, it did really affect me the kind of first few days. It's horrible seeing like people judge your character like that, especially when it's so far away from who you are and what you are. But like, I'm so lucky in that situation that everyone around me, like they didn't even question it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone just knew that it was all complete lies and just made up out of nowhere. And, luckily everyone around me was just, it was nice. Like I said, everyone was kind of making jokes about it. And, after a week, it all died down. That's the thing with these like gossip things. It feels like the end of the world, but like now I don't even remember it. It literally lasts like a week and then it's done. Like people move on to the new thing. But I don't know. I'm a sucker for internet drama. So even like sometimes I saw some TikToks and I was like, oh, look at the way I look at him. I was like buying into it. I was like, oh, maybe.
Like, hang on, no, I've got.
Yeah, I was like, if it wasn't me, I would be fully in that drama. I would be so into it. But yeah, it's funny to look back on.
How do you deal with? And it's a crass generalization. How do you deal with people, particularly men, on the internet? And I ask this because we mentioned earlier that I was watching your very first YouTube video, Knives and Pens. By Black Veil Brides that you covered, and just take this as an example comment.
Oh, good.
The top comment. So cool to see where you started. Not all dressed up for the camera, but 100% focused on playing for it. I hope you never take these videos down. You should write a version of such and such and skip the makeup.
It's so annoying. It's honestly, it's everyone. It's so frustrating. And I've been thinking about this recently because there was someone who did a review of Imposter Syndrome that was the music video, who was like, oh, I don't get why girls always dress up like that. Men never do that. Men never have to do that. Like, we're just focused on the music, and girls always. And I was like, I have so many points. Number one, have you seen Lenny Kravitz's recent Instagram post? He is literally the biggest thirst trap ever, and I'm here for it. Secondly, I was like, men haven't done it because they've used women for their gain, like Motley Crue and everyone. They've used all of these girls, like, you know, naked girls on the cover. It's been a symbol of rock and roll that everyone's loved for so many years. And then finally, when women take the power back and they're like, you know what, I feel confident doing it this way. I'm going to do it for myself. We're not doing it for you guys. We're doing it because that's what makes us feel confident. But, you know, and then suddenly they have an issue with it when it's the woman who's doing it. Whereas it's fine when a man sexualizes a woman in that, like, and objectifies and sexualizes a woman. But as soon as a woman like wants to do it for their own confidence, wants to take the power back, they're like, oh no, how dare they? And it just, it bugs me so much. But, you know, at the end of the day, I try not to get too caught up about the comments and stuff. Like, I sort of think, you know, you can watch on mute if you just want to watch the boobs. It's still worth the same to me monetarily, as
a view,
you know.
is a view, isn't it? Like, it doesn't matter
exactly. A view is a view is a view. So you can watch for whatever reason.
I get the feeling if my wife was sat with us in the room right now, she'd be cheering on, going, yes, yes. And rightly so. But I read stuff like that. And did you watch the She-Hulk series that was on Disney a little while back?
No, I didn't, but I saw adverts for it and stuff. It looked cool.
There was a great line in there about, you know, being the Hulk, you've got to control your anger and control your emotions and all that kind of thing. And the character comes up with a great speech about how she's great at controlling her anger, great at controlling her emotions. As a woman, she does it every single day. Otherwise, she'll be labeled emotional. She'll be labeled highly strung. And it really struck a chord. And it's like, you must get so much of this. And, you know, I hear from so many women about being catcalled in the street.
Yeah.
When you have an image like you do and you play the kind of music that you do, you must be inundated by neckbeards going, oh, you'd be prettier if you smiled more. And that sentiment. Like,
the classic.
Oh, my God. It must be. Do you have to like meditate or some shit? Because it would piss the hell out of me all the time. Just like, fuck up.
It's very frustrating, you know. And I think that's why so many women kind of resonated with the Barbie movie coming out and stuff, was that it was finally kind of, you know, there was that sort of monologue at the end, and it finally kind of put everything into words that we'd kind of been feeling but had never really got kind of the coverage of. And that, you know, made dude's super mad as well. And but it's fun. Like, honestly, like I just try to surround myself with good people in my real life that, you know, that love, you know, women and love empowering women, whatever they want to do, and allow them to have their own choices and do what they want, look how they want, and feel confident. And that's, you know, the most important thing, is to surround yourself with people that big you up.
Shamefully, I haven't seen Barbie yet.
Oh, you should. I feel like it's like an important movie.
Yeah, I get that kind of vibe. You know, I've got a kid, a little kid. He's like, what, 6 years old? And so I can't remember the last time I went to the cinema. It's been a long time. Really?
Oh, I love going to cinema. I go all the time. I'm going to see Exorcist tonight. I'm actually really excited.
Ooh, nice. Sorry, we're just going off on movies here. All right, so let's go off on movies. So you've obviously seen Barbie. What else have you seen recently that is great? I've just been watching. Well, me and Beloved have started on the Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix.
Oh, I've seen that. That looks really good, actually.
Very American Horror Story kind of vibe.
Yeah, like I love that sort of vibe. We want to watch that, actually. That's been on our list for a while. I'm a horror movie addict, so we just went and saw the new Saw movie, which I loved personally, because I love that kind of gory shit. We're going to go and do the Saw escape room as well this week, which I'm very excited for.
Whoa.
I know.
All right, very, very quick aside. When the first Saw film came out, I will have been, let me think, I'll probably have been about 18 or 19, something like that. I drove my mum's car, me and my then girlfriend, to the cinema in Wakefield, my hometown.
Oh, yeah.
And while we were in the cinema watching Saw, that first film, which is a proper psychological, horrific headfuck, it was, something happened. There'd been a hit and run in Wakefield Town Centre. So we come out of the cinema, everywhere's deserted. There's police everywhere. There's blue lights flashing everywhere. I was so freaked out.
That's so scary.
You just Saw, one of the definitive horror movies of a generation, and then the world is fucked up. And you're like,
yeah, you're like, it's happening in real life. Where are you, Jigsaw?
Yeah, it just messed me up. But I haven't been able to watch another Saw film since.
I don't blame you. You're just in the parking lot waiting for like Jigsaw to ride his little tricycle.
But because I mentioned my beloved, and now she would definitely be here supporting you with girl power and etc. I'm amazed she hasn't dragged me to see Barbie. She also doesn't particularly like horror, so I'm a huge horror fan myself. I'm now out of what's happening, what's going on, what's been released, and all that. So, can I have your horror recommendations that I can watch when she goes out to a rock fit class and
yes,
bed? What horror should I be watching?
If you want like more new ones, I loved The Barbarian. That was one of my it kind of felt kind of B. What's that? Is it B movie? That word where it feels a little bit lower budget, but it was so scary. Like it was the first horror movie in years that actually scared me. And we went to go see Evil Dead 2 as well, which I loved because, again, it's just silly. It's like silly horror. And Evil Dead 1 was always like my comfort horror movie that I'd watch when I was sick and stuff. So I was feeling low. So yeah, that's really good as well. I'm trying to think of any others. They're the sort of two I've seen most recently. Smile is a good like recent one. I feel like they're not very good at making new super scary horror movies, but they're now that they're trying some new stuff, some of them are coming out. Black Phone is really good as well.
I have no idea what Smile is about, but I remember seeing some of the marketing for it where they did a really good job, and they had people kind of sat in the crowd at sports stadiums just smiling with it saying Smile on their shirts.
It was clever
marketing. Fabulous work.
Yeah, really good marketing. Like it's cool how creative they're getting with it.
Fantastic. So we can expect guerrilla marketing for the next Sophie Lloyd album.
Yes.
That'll be great, man.
Yeah, I'll get people in the stadiums wearing my face or something.
Well, so let's get on to that. So we talked about the new album that's coming out, Imposter Syndrome.
Yes.
We also talked about, that 15-year-old or however old she was who recorded Knives and Pens on your YouTube channel 11 years ago. From there to now, can you even make a prediction as to where it's going to go in the future? What do you want to happen?
There's a few different things. Like I definitely want to start doing more of my own stuff live. And I really look at things. There's a violinist called Lzzy Sterling and I love what she's doing. It's sort of very performance based. It's almost like a combination of Cirque du Soleil and an amazing music performance. So maybe something in that realm. I also love like Slash's kind of solo career. He's got he's found his Miles Kennedy. They go on tour together. So I'd like to see what that looks like. I'm not too sure what that looks like yet, but I'm excited for that. And I'd also love to get into writing music for video games because that's something that really interests me and excites me. So I think that would be something cool to do.
Oh, that'd be very cool. Do you ever think like video games, it's a small step from video games to soundtracks?
Yeah, well, that would be incredible as well. Like, we were just talking about movies. Yeah, like I'd love to do the new like Halloween soundtrack or something. That would be so cool.
So future Halloween soundtrack, and I love that line, looking for your Miles Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm looking for him.
Fabulous. Oh, mate, this has been a really, really lovely chat. Thank you so much for hanging out and making some time. Best of luck with Imposter Syndrome, out November the 10th. Mate,
yes.
Best of
Thank
luck.
you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
Primordial Radio.